It's amazing to me how quickly things can change in sports.
Mm.
You see an athlete sort of on the brink of something, and then boom, suddenly they're making headlines.
Yeah, it's that rapid acceleration, and it really grabs your attention.
Yeah, and it happens across all different sports, it seems.
It does. It really does.
But today, we are diving into one of those moments, I think you could call it that,
Definitely.
with Filipino tennis player Alex Eala.
Absolutely. And I think, what we're looking at here is a pretty significant jump onto the world stage.
Right.
And we're going to be talking about her achievement in the Women's Tennis Association World Rankings.
And the headline is certainly attention-grabbing. She has just reached a new career high,
That's right.
jumping to number 73
Wow.
in the latest WTA rankings. And this is news as of Monday, April 7th, 2025, Philippine time.
Okay.
And this is all courtesy of a report from GMA Integrated News.
All right.
So number 73 in the world. What's the story behind this climb?
Well, this jump comes directly on the heels of her performance at the Miami Open. Just a week before this latest ranking update, she had a really remarkable run there.
The Miami Open, it feels like. Just yesterday we were talking about this.
I know, right?
And it wasn't just this latest jump that was so significant.
Right.
There was a pretty substantial move in the rankings immediately after the tournament concluded.
Exactly. So before she even stepped onto the court in Miami,
Okay.
Alex Eala was ranked number 140.
Got it.
Following her performance there, she jumped all the way up to number 75.
Wow.
So this latest move to 73, is building on some serious momentum
Right.
that's been gained in a very short period of time.
It really is amazing to see that happen.
And I think it's really interesting to think about that initial leap from 140 to 75.
Yeah.
Because that really tells you a lot about the impact of high-level tournament success.
Yeah, it really does. And that kind of jump, it's not just about winning a few matches.
No.
It suggests that she had some pretty significant victories against some very, very good opponents.
Right. And, speaking of opponents, her path through the Miami Open was against some of the biggest names in women's tennis.
It really was names that even casual sports fans are going to recognize.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm.
Jelena Ostapenko, Madison Keys, and incredibly, the former world number 1, Iga Swiatek.
I mean, you can't really get much tougher than that, can you?
No, those are heavy hitters.
Yeah.
And, these kinds of wins, they do more than just add to the win column.
Right.
They inject a huge amount of ranking points.
Okay.
And it really sends a clear message about a player's capabilities.
I see what you mean.
And, that's a real aha moment, I think, for understanding the magnitude of this achievement.
Okay.
To beat 3 Grand Slam champions in a single tournament.
Right.
It's really exceptional.
So beating 3 players who have previously won one of the 4 major tennis tournaments.
Right, exactly. The Australian Open, the French Open, Wimbledon, and the U.S. Open.
Wow.
To do that in one tournament is amazing.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Toppling that level of competition in one event really says a lot about her current form.
It does.
And her ability to perform under pressure against the best of the best.
Yeah, it really moves her, beyond the realm of just potential into the realm of, really established competitor.
She's arrived.
Yes. And I think to have a full picture, though, it's important to acknowledge that her run in Miami concluded in the semifinals with a loss to Jessica Pegula.
Right, the semifinals. But still,
Yeah.
reaching that stage after the caliber of wins that she had is no small feat.
No, not at all.
So with these, high-profile victories sort of fueling this rise,
Yeah.
can you break down how the WTA ranking system actually works?
Sure.
How do these results translate into that jump from 75 to 73?
Yeah, that's a crucial point.
Yeah.
To understand the significance of this.
Yeah.
The WTA ranking system is based on a rolling 52-week period.
Okay.
And it considers a player's best results in a maximum of 18 singles tournaments and 12 doubles tournaments.
Okay, so it's not just about one,
Yeah.
outstanding tournament. It's about...
It's about consistent performance.
Yeah.
At various levels, and the GMA News Report touches on this a little bit.
I see.
So it's this continuous evaluation of performance across different events with a focus on the most recent and the highest stakes competitions.
Okay, so not just one flash in the pan.
Exactly. And the thing that drives the ranking changes is the point system.
Yeah.
Players earn points based on 2 key factors.
Okay.
The level or prestige of the tournament and how far they advance in that tournament.
Got it.
So, for instance, a Grand Slam event or a Masters 1000 tournament like the Miami Open
Okay.
awards significantly more points than a smaller WTA 250 event
Makes sense.
And then, winning a first-round match yields fewer points
Okay.
than reaching the quarterfinals, the semifinals, or, obviously winning the title.
Right, of course.
So think of it a bit like climbing a ladder.
Yeah.
The bigger the tournament and the further you climb, the more rungs you gain, and those rungs are the points.
I like that analogy. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So her deep run at a Masters 1000 event like the Miami Open,
Yes.
coupled with those victories over those top-ranked players,
Right.
essentially, beating the hardest bosses, if we're going to keep using our ladder analogy,
I like it. Yeah.
would have earned her a substantial number of ranking points,
Yeah.
which would explain that initial big jump from 140 to 75.
Right.
Now, the subsequent move to 73,
Yeah.
does that reflect continued strong performance, or is there something else going on there?
It's likely a combination of factors.
Okay.
So even if a player doesn't compete
Yeah.
in the week immediately following a big tournament,
Right.
the recalculation of overall ranking points can still lead to some shifts.
Interesting.
So other players' results in that intervening week
Okay.
can also impact the standings.
Got it.
So, someone ranked just above or below Eala might have had a less successful week,
Right.
causing a ripple effect in the rankings.
So her position can change even if she's not actively playing.
Exactly. And it's also important to remember that players are constantly defending points earned in the previous year.
Oh, that's right.
So Eala's strong performance now sets her up with a higher base of points to defend in the future,
I see.
which adds another layer of complexity to, maintaining this ranking.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand.
Yeah.
So those impressive wins against those Grand Slam champions at the Miami Open,
Right.
which is a high-caliber tournament,
Absolutely.
those translated into a big influx of WTA ranking points,
Yes.
which catapulted her from 140 to 75.
Exactly.
And then in the subsequent ranking update, she edged up 2 more spots to number 73.
That's right.
So to be super clear, as of Monday, April 7th, 2025,
Yeah.
Philippine time, Alex Eala officially holds the world number 73 ranking in women's singles tennis.
That's a big deal.
It really is a significant achievement, and it's exciting to see this kind of upward trajectory,
Oh, for sure.
especially, with such notable victories fueling it.
Absolutely. And I think what's particularly insightful here, beyond just the ranking number itself, is the psychological impact of these wins.
Right.
Because defeating players of that caliber provides this massive boost in confidence.
Of course.
And it really reinforces the belief
Yep.
that she belongs and can compete at these highest levels consistently.
Right. It's not just about the points. It's about the self-assurance.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what does this mean for Alex Eala's path moving forward?
Right.
Reaching a career high ranking like this must unlock some new opportunities
It does.
and maybe even reshape her schedule and her goals for the season.
Absolutely. So a higher ranking often translates to direct entry into these higher tier tournaments,
Okay.
bypassing the need to go through those qualifying rounds, which
Right.
can be, physically and mentally taxing.
Absolutely.
And it can also lead to more favorable seedings in tournaments,
Right.
which means potentially avoiding those top-ranked opponents in the earlier stages.
Yeah.
If we connect this to the bigger picture,
Okay.
sustained performance at this level
Yeah.
could pave the way for her to regularly participate in the most prestigious events on the WTA Tour.
It's pretty exciting to think about.
It is.
And, potentially even deeper runs in those Grand Slam tournaments in the future.
Yeah, and I think that raises a really interesting question.
Yeah.
For anyone who is following her journey, does this rapid climb
Yeah.
signify a real turning point in her professional career?
It makes you wonder, right?
We've seen glimpses of her talent, for some time.
Right.
But these recent results feel like a much more definitive statement
Right.
of her potential.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder what other milestones might now be within her grasp.
Absolutely.
Could we see her break into the top 50?
It's possible.
Even higher in the,
Yeah.
not too distant future?
Yeah.
What does sustained success at this level look like
All right.
for a player with her skill set and with this new momentum?
It's really exciting.
Yeah, and it also prompts us to consider, the broader context of athletic achievement.
Yeah.
What are the underlying factors that contribute to these sorts of breakthroughs?
Absolutely, because beyond talent, it takes immense dedication. A rigorous training regimen, a strong support system.
Yeah.
This kind of ascent isn't just about, one good week.
Right.
It's often the culmination of years of hard work and really strategic development.
Well, this has been a really fascinating look, I think, into Alex Eala's recent achievement.
Yeah, I agree.
It's clear that her performance at the Miami Open was a pivotal moment.
Absolutely.
And her new career high ranking of number 73 in the world
Wow.
is a well-earned recognition of her talent, her dedication,
Yes.
and those remarkable victories.
I think so too.
And it kind of leaves us with this question.
Okay.
As we're reflecting on this impressive progress,
Yeah.
what other stories of athletes experiencing similar rapid ascents might be unfolding right now in different corners of the sporting world?
That's a great question to think about.
Because it's those moments of sudden breakthrough that are so captivating to witness,
I completely agree.
and they really make you want to keep watching
For sure.
to see what happens next.
Absolutely.